Good afternoon. So, I'm SHIVARAM, and my main expertise is in the field of artificial intelligence. Okay? I've been in this field for last 20 years, and I've done a lot of research, but I never expected that I'll be going into the field of education, and that happened through coincidence. So, what ended up happening was during COVID, peak of COVID, I was at home because I couldn't travel. I was an entrepreneur, I used to travel a lot. So I stayed back home and I got chance to spend time with my son. I remembered the way my father had trained me. He used to spend huge amount of time with me, training me on math, science when I was young. And I felt my 8-year-old son is not getting that. And now is my chance to do it. Then I thought, instead of just teaching my son, why not create an online group, because COVID, so you can only do online. So create an online group and teach all the kids. And I didn't have any idea about what I'm going to teach. I thought, let me start this. I started, and then I started teaching kids, Python, robotics, how to make presentations, how to, become an entrepreneur, and all these kinds of skills, right? So I thought, let me do this. If something happens, good. If something doesn't happen, it's fine, right? But within 6 months, what ended up happening was these kids, who are 8 to 10-year-old kids, they started building programs and games in Python, which I thought was even difficult for engineering students to do. I was surprised. They started building business models. They started building apps, presentations, and so on. I was shocked. I was like, I am doing something correct. Something I'm doing correctly, which is leading to this. This led me to go into the field of education and pedagogy. Pedagogy is how we teach. I started doing research on these things and trying to see how I can contribute to the field of education. At the same time, one more thing happened. I was very scientific and thinking about maths and science and everything. I read a book called Autobiography of a Yogi. Anyone has read that book here? Yeah, few people have read. So that book transformed me. It made me spiritual. At the same time, it inspired me how Paramahamsa Yogananda in 1920s, 1917, started a school which was revolutionary back then. Okay? So this pulled me into the field of education, and I thought, this is my dharma, and I have to do this. Now, to do this alone is a humongous task, because I wanted to change the way education is there currently. I started looking for partners and started looking for people who can help me in doing this. That's where I found the right partners. I'll tell you why they are right partners. The first one there is Dr. Madan, who has around 120 patents, and he's an amazing educator. He used to teach his classmates when he was young, and he also has taught in colleges. And even today, when we meet various people, they say, oh, because of you, I got a patent, and so on. He taught how people can get patents and so on. When we started, everyone said, this is not the right time. EdTech is not a good industry. It has already fallen. Why are you getting into this? But we were not here to just increase valuation or just take an exit in 2 years. No, we were in this for a long game. We wanted to create an impact in the field of education, a longing impact. So we were ready to take challenge. We poured in all of our money, whatever we had, whatever savings we had, so that we build the product and then raise investments. And that's what we did. So this is how I entered into the field of education. Right now, I want to talk to you about the current state of education before I talk about the future. Today, all of us think the education field is good, everything is fine, and so on, but it is not. The proficiency scores worldwide today are less than 50, 46, 47, maths, reading, and writing, right? If you see countries like US, you might be thinking there it is higher. Actually, it is lower there. It is less than 30, right? So there is a trend that the proficiency scores are dropping, and during COVID it dropped even more. What it means is, in a typical classroom, if there are 100 students, 50 of them are not up to the mark. They are not even passing that minimum threshold, what is called as the minimum threshold. It is not we are pouring in millions and billions of dollars into field of education, and if we are getting only 50%, I don't know, we are doing something wrong. One of the reason is, in today's world, there is huge amount of distraction for students. So probably highest in the history of mankind, because we know that we never had mobile phones in the past. So mobile phones, movies, and various other things, games, they are distracting the students from their core education and progressing forward. And there is also one more risk. If we don't do something now, we'll be in trouble. There is huge amount of automation which is coming. I've been in the field of AI for a long time, and I know that the amount of automation which is going to come is going to be scary, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. If we are not ready for the future, if we are not training the future generation the right skills, we will be in big trouble because of automation and AI. Now, can we use this same technologies to bring to education and create a positive impact? Yes. But that has to be done consciously. Now, there are few things we can do to save the day. One of the things is to bring intrinsic motivation. Now, before I explain what intrinsic motivation is, let me explain what extrinsic motivation is. Today's education system is a behavioristic approach. It uses extrinsic motivation. What it means is, if there is a student, we say, okay, if you do this, the parents will say, I'll get you a bicycle or a car or whatever, right? External thing. If you don't do this, you'll be punished. Rewards and punishments. We are forcing a person to do something based on some reward or punishment, which is outside of what they are doing, which is learning. But when they are playing a computer game, imagine, do you give any prize to the students when they play a computer game? No, they are doing it themselves. Why? The reward is inside. The enjoyment is inside what they are doing. It is intrinsic, right? We need to convert kids from being extrinsic to intrinsic. Okay, this is the need of the hour. Second is, we need nonlinear exponential learning. So let me explain what nonlinear is. Okay, so everyone knows what linear is. Linear means straight line. Okay, first you learn this, then you learn this, then you learn this, then you learn this. This is how our core subjects are there. Like, we study it in a line. But in the future, with so much changes happening, every day there is something new coming. And for doing a particular thing, you cannot go and do a 6 months course. You can't do that. You need to learn quickly, and only the things which you need to learn for doing a particular task. If you are a researcher, you have to go deep. This. If you are someone who is into application, you have to go wide. So you need to know what to learn and exactly learn that, and not anything more, because you don't have time to do that. So that is enabled by nonlinear learning. Okay? So you can learn 3 particular topics from 3 different courses and start working immediately. That is nonlinear, right? At the same time, nonlinear also means learning the tools which will empower you to do much more. There are tools today. You don't have to learn everything and build everything from scratch. There are tools. They may be AI enabled or not, but using those tools can increase your efficiency multiple times, and you need to do that. Okay, that is nonlinear. Exponential. What is exponential? When you learn in a nonlinear way, your growth will be exponential. In the field of neuroscience, they say brain is both nonlinear and exponential. That means our brain has so much capacity. We are not consuming it. We need to do that. Okay, this is the need of the hour. Now let's come to the future. Future, how it is going to be, right? One of the major things, there are 3 things. This is my prediction. There are 3 things which are going to change the way education is going to be done in the future. The first thing is surrounding neuroscience. Because more we understand human brain, we'll bring that to the classrooms. Because in a classroom, kids use only their brain, right? Mostly their brain. The second thing is in the field of AI. There's a massive impact which is going to happen because of the AI. And third is because of business models. How people are going to build educational organizations around technology. Okay? The business model innovations. Now coming to neuroscience, I spoke about neuroscience. What is neurocontent? I mentioned something called as neurocontent. What is that? Neurocontent is building content which is easily absorbable by students, and not just one, all the students in the classroom. Can we build content such that it is accessible for all the students, even the sensitive students? Because resilient students anyway learn automatically. So can you do that, right? Can you start the class with a very surprising fact so that you can grab the attention of the students throughout the class? Okay? Because it is said that when you open up the hindbrain by giving a surprising disequilibrium kind of fact, it opens up the brain and all the facts flow, all the information flows in, and they are very attentive in the class. It's very important for students to be attentive and active so that they learn. And finally, the content which is engaging, having multiple perspectives, not just one-dimensional content. Multiple perspective, that because some students are interested in examples, some students are interested in theory, right? Now, coming to the way we conduct the class. We can use neuroscience to conduct the class as well. It is seen that when we activate all three parts of the brain, major parts of the brain, the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain, the learning is massive and it's permanent. Okay? How do you do that? So one, you start the class with surprising fact. Second, to activate the midbrain, you can have peer-to-peer learning, okay, and social learning. That is, students get together and discuss what they learned from each other. When they are learning from a teacher, they have that distance between them. But when they are learning from friends, that is not there. So can we bring that into classrooms, every classroom? Okay? So all these things, including things which are coming up in the future research of neuroscience, will impact education greatly. Now coming to real-time feedback. Now we are talking about AI things, okay? How is our feedback today? Like, we teach kids, do we know how much they learned? They will say, yeah, we learned, but we don't know. The feedback happens when we conduct the exam or test after a long time. It may be after a month or 2 months or whatever. That feedback is already late. Because after the feedback, they're not going and learning that. They're stopping there, oh, I got less marks, fine. The purpose of education is to teach students. It is not just to rank and leave them, right? The purpose of exam is to make sure the students understand where they are weak at, but we don't go back and see whether they learned or not. What if the feedback is real time? In the classroom, AI helps them understand how much they learned. There are AI bots which specifically test whether you understood a specific concept. And based on that, the student knows whether they have learned it or not. Okay? So that is the key, real-time feedback using AI. Then content for one. What do I mean by content for one? Today, the content is created, educational content is created and given to everyone. In the future, because of automation and AI, the power of AI, you can understand each person personally. Oh, this person has high amount of serotonin, so he doesn't need any kind of, these kind of examples. He needs theory. Let's create content for him like this. Another person has a lack of serotonin and dopamine transmitter. So for him, he needs fun, activities in between. Can we do that? AI can understand and it can do it. It can create content for every specific person. There are 2 billion people who needs to be educated, children. And maybe there are 50,000 different types of students among them, and we can create 50,000 different types of content. Same physics content, but delivered in 50,000 different ways. Okay? That is the power of AI. Now coming to dynamic pathways. This is the ultimate goal. Okay? What is dynamic pathways? Like, imagine I want to become the greatest singer. AI can create a path for me. Learn this, learn this, learn this, and you'll become the greatest singer ever. But in this path, if I am going and if I am missing the track, AI can correct. So this is AI-guided path. Now, along with that, you add one more complexity. World is changing. You are along the path you are going, you have learned few things, but world has completely changed. New music has come. AI should dynamically include that so that you go to the final destination, immaterial of what happens in the world. So that is dynamic pathways. Okay? So these are the things which will be coming because of AI. Now coming to the business model disruptions, right? When we go to a hotel with our kid, we eat first and then pay. But in education system, it's not like that. But that is going to change. It is going to change, and we will be having systems where you go, you learn, and if you pass a particular criteria, then you pay. Now this will make the education system focus on weaker students. Right now, they're focusing on top students. They're not focusing so much on weaker students. This will make them focus on weaker students. This is one of the disruptions which is going to come. Another is people will start focusing on skills. Skills more than degrees. It's already happening. We see that. Today, we hire people. We had a kid who is 15-year-old who is a CTO of a company. Right? We are also hiring who are college dropouts and so on. This is happening in India, not just in US. Skills are more important than degrees. So the entire framework of creating degrees and other things is going to break down. And then finally, because of all this, education is going to be affordable. When I say affordable, I'm not using the word free. I'm making the distinction here, making it affordable. Anyone who wants to learn will have ways to learn it, okay, different ways to learn it, and different AI systems they can take help of and learn that, okay? The future is going to be very positive in the field of education. This is what we believe. We started HuLearn for this reason, to bring all of these changes. And all the things we have mentioned here are the things we are already working on or already finished working on. We have already bought it out, okay? Our main aim is very simple. We want to impact humanity by making people stronger from the inside. And to do that, education is the most important thing. And we want to create impact in the field of education by doing scientific research and bringing that to the market. Thank you.